guys, I'm Michelle Krubaugh, Planet Home Lending. We're going to talk about the FHA $100 down HUD loan and kind of go through the steps to take to prepare your buyers and what we can do for your buyers to help them get this loan program. So that's just our little flyer that we use. And the $100 down program used to be very selective. It would only be on certain properties. Sometimes the properties weren't maybe the most marketable properties, but HUD kind of opened the floodgates in 2018. But a lot of lenders haven't taken advantage of it because they don't know how to do them, or they don't have them. So, but we have them, they're there, and all the properties that are FHA insurable are allowed under the HUD program. So a couple things, when you go and you start looking at houses for your customer, you always want to go to the HUD home. And this is where you start, and you type in your state and your county, or your state and your city. And we did Sedgwick. This is what pulled up for Sedgwick. If you notice, we go from 35 down to like 151, there's 182 in there, so it kind of ranges. And this will give you information about if they're exclusive, if they're extended, when the bid date ends, etc. So that's kind of where you start. When you find your house here, and I chose a house over here in Derby, this is where you go next. And it's real important to do this stuff before you start showing these houses, and I'll show you why. You want to check and see if it's insured escrow. If it says not insured or that's blank, it means it will not qualify. It has structural damage or something above and beyond what FHA will handle. So that's the first place that you want to go to on these. And then you're going to click on.
So if it doesn't say that, then what do you have to, is it cash or
it's
conventional
cash.
only?
I'll give you a great example. There was a really cool house out west like 2 months ago. Very interesting house, gorgeous, and I think it was like 180s. But it had structural damage. So it was cash only. I don't know if you could even go conventional on it. From the looks of it, it was gorgeous. And you would think, oh, that's a great house. But it would not work for financing. So the next place you would go after you find that out, you click up to addendums. And there's two very important addendums you always want to pull before you even show the house to your buyer. You want to pull them and print them and take them with you. The property disclosure. This shows you what HUD has determined from their review may be the FHA repairs. And you're going to see them right there. Or right there. You know, they're going to be in there. So that's what HUD is thinking FHA is going to require to make the house lendable. So that's the first one. The second one that you want to pull is this one, and I'll tell you why. Melissa talked about the utilities being on and lenders and appraisers. Our underwriters will honor an appraisal without utilities on if this is in the file. Because this tells them that HUD had done their inspections, their utility inspections. So that saves the cost and the time and the coordination of getting your appraiser out there when utilities are on. So it saves some steps right there. Because I'll tell you what, the ones that we did last month, we did not do home inspections on. They took general contractors with them out on the second showings before the bid. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So this is very important. This is where you coordinate with your lender, get all your documents in a row. And let's talk about the net bid. And even though I'm lending, I correlate with the agent side on this because HUD doesn't care if you're Leslie Hodge, HUD doesn't care if you're Michelle Krubaugh. HUD cares about net to HUD. That's all they care about. So I want to show you some examples. $100 down. Use a sales price of $127. There's your net to HUD, $119,380. $127, 3.5% down, asking for HUD closing cost. There's your net to HUD. HUD's going to take that one all day long. Next slide, we did, let's bump the sales price so that way we can get our net to equal. Guess what? Net to HUD is still less than $100 down. So what this program does is it takes your FHA buyers that have their 3.5% down saved, and we moved it from the top of the loan as a down payment as buyers pay their closing cost, use $100 to get in the house. And you're still gonna net higher to HUD. So that's a really cool thing to think about. This is not a great program for the people that want the down payment assistance. They have no money. It really isn't, because things are gonna happen to the house when they get in there. You know, you need to have a little bit of assets to handle the little things that are gonna pop up, like she said, that are missed. You know, you're buying a house in total as is condition. But for the people that are well-qualified FHA that have their down payment, you flip it to closing cost, you shop your titles, because HUD does not pay the 1/2 of closing and 1/2 of owner's title. So that's $900 extra that we're not used to on our files, and you do it like that. As far as the loan itself, it's easy, it's FHA. We can actually do a manual underwrite on this program, but those customers need to be prepared probably weeks ahead of time. You can't just go out and look at a house, the bid in Saturday night and say, we need a manual, Michelle, they're a 580. No, those are the people that I've underwritten the full package. We prepare them, their approval's good for 120 days. Then we let them go out and look at the HUD homes if they really want a HUD home. Couple things to remember, then we'll talk about a live one. Make sure the property is marked insurable. Pull the property disclosure and PCR under the addendums tab. Repairs can be escrowed up to $10,000 or 105 LTV. I did a $127,000 one. It had $6,000 in repairs. We put it back in the loan at 3.5%. So can you get a 3.5% signature loan? Do you have a 3.5% credit card? Put it in your loan. Easy peasy. And the thing is, it's written right there in the appraisal. What has to be done and what they estimate the price to be. Licensed contractor has to give us a bid for that exact amount, and I will clip that to them and I will send them pictures, and we set up the repair escrow. Plus we put the extra $150 in for the second appraisal. Financed right into your buyer's loan. HUD does not, okay, we already went over the owner's title insurance. HUD is asking for 45-day closings on owner-occupied transactions. Just do it, we need the time. There's a couple things that have to happen, you know, while the loan is cooking, you know, with the appraisal and getting the contractor bid and stuff in. Utilities don't have to be on, which is great. And HUD cooperates with FHA and FHA cooperates with HUD. And if we prepare our loan properly, our underwriters cooperate with the program and don't ask for extra things. I mean, I was kind of amazed, because I'm always ready to fight with underwriters. You're like, no, you got that. No, utilities were on, you know, a month ago when they winterized it, we're fine. And I'm like, okay, there's no fights, there's nothing going on here. And I'll tell you how we did it. And if you work with us, we will help you. I can't speak for other lenders. The borrower went to see the house, fell in love with the house. The borrower did a second showing. With the second showing, we took a general contractor out there, and I went out there. And we had a little addendum showing what they thought the insured repairs were gonna be. We talked to the contractor, he agreed. He estimated $6,000. When we got our appraisal, it came back at $5,900. So it was all kind of easy. He kind of did a little bit of an inspection while he was there. And we told him his time frame. You have 30 days from closing to get those repair escrows done. And he was okay with the time frame. And we got a plan. They put their offer together. They sent it in December, I think 23rd. And bids were closed December 26th. And we got the call that night. I think like at 7 at night saying, bid's been accepted. And that's what we did. And then we just ran the loan like a regular FHA after that. I mean, there's like zero drama. And the house just appraised for $20,000 more. So the main thing is you need to work with a lender that can help you with the numbers, because obviously you're not going to be able to do a repair escrow for $10,000 on a $60,000 house. I mean, we've got to watch the loan to value. We can back into the numbers. A lot of the work on these type of loans happens making the bid, going into it very informed, kind of having your ducks in a row. You just don't wanna like run into it and then get into it 4 weeks later and say, oh no, it's not gonna work. So if we do all the steps I just showed you, it's going to work very smoothly. And the customers are gonna get the, the advantage of a great FHA loan at a very low rate compared to like a conventional or any other type of loan. And that's really kind of it for me. I just want to kind of show you the basics, and just say that that's how we do it. And it was a lot easier than I thought, because I was horrified when I got one.
Give them some kind of general idea, just FHA overview, like what some of the qualifications look like.
It's FHA across the board.
But that some of them don't know what the FHA, what it even looks like.
We can go down to a 580 credit score.
There you go.
If we don't get an approved eligible on automated underwriting, we can do a manual if they fit manual guidelines. On a program like this that is very time sensitive on a very popular house, I would say I will only do a manual if I have the documents up front and it's fully underwritten up front as a TBD property, to be determined, which can be done because those are good for 120 days. So it's not just for your well-qualified buyers. It can be for anybody. But let's do the footwork first on the ones that need to do a manual underwrite. So down to 580, that can be done. Other than that, it's just straight FHA. There's just really no other issues. It's a lot cheaper than doing an FHA renovation loan. Because those do have a higher interest rate and they have extra fees. And this is not going to get you granite countertops. This is not going to get you wood flooring. What this is going to get you is the minimum required repairs done, but it gets those done. Once you get in the house, go to Lowe's, open up your 12 months, same as cash, and order your flooring and order the upgrades that you want to do to the house. But in both instances of the ones we closed last month, appraisals came in $20,000 higher. You're walking into some instant equity. You're walking into a house that you get to do it as you want to do it. And you're not paying crazy rates and fees to get into it. So that's kind of the beauty of the program. And, like I said, the other beauty is you're taking a qualified buyer that has their 3.5%, and they're just flipping it from a down payment to closing costs. That's all they're doing. And that gives you a better chance on getting your bid accepted. Because some of these houses are very popular. Some have had like multiple bids come in and multiple showings and just a stream of cars all day long, especially when you get, the 150s and above in popular areas. So.
And for a newer agent, explain to them loan to value and 105%.
Okay, for example, 127,000. Her loan ended up being like $126,900. We could go take that times 5% for our maximum repairs. So with our $6,000 repair escrow, we were still under 105%. So that's why I was saying, a $50,000 house probably wouldn't be able to handle $6,000 worth of repairs. But when you get to the higher house prices, they can handle the up to 105% loan to value. And that's something a good loan officer will get more involved at the beginning of this process and help you look at it and say, this is what it will bear, Leslie. This is how much room we've got. This works with the loan. So that's kind of how that works. Okay, do you guys have any questions, or do you want to get me and Melissa both up here? Or?
Yeah, David, if you'll click that off.
Okay.